Good evening, peeps, and welcome to the final podcast of RSF1 Season 1. With myself, unfortunately, there's only two of us tonight because we've had a few people that can't make it. Um, I'm your RSF1 Alonso, and I'm here with my good old buddy, Mr. Primus. Good evening, Primus.
Good evening, Alonso. Good to be back after quite a bit away.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a while since we've sat down. I've been busy with other bits and pieces and stuff like that, so it's been quite an interesting one. So, right, so we've got a few things to go through. Obviously, just a couple of things. Obviously, wanted to say congratulations to everybody who participated in RSF1, the league. And of course, of course, we've got a couple of things to go through. We've got part one of our champions tonight. We've got season 2 news. We've got news of a podcast tomorrow, which we'll go through. We've got, and obviously they'll probably do part 2 tomorrow, I believe. I'll find out what's happening on that one. And also something else that's happening next week, which is massive. I wonder what that could be. What do you reckon that might be, Primus?
Well, I imagine it's something big, maybe rule changes or something that's definitely related to, the start to season 2.
Well, no. It's something a little
No?
bit more, something just a little bit more, obviously, how can I put it? Something a little bit more bigger than that. Bigger than RSF1, bigger than anything. What's happening next week?
Well, next week it's Christmas?
Oh, yes, it is. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It is. It is. We'll just play this little. It's a bit of Christmas song. So, yes, next week is Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. So, we've got Christmas next week. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. You looking forward to Christmas?
Oh, I am as well, yeah. I'm really looking forward to Christmas. It is always a good time of the year, unless you're working it. But,
Well, fortunate
Christmas
enough,
has still
I'm
got to be
off.
enjoyed.
So, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
So,
I am as well.
so I just want to take this time to obviously wish everybody who was involved in RSF1 a Merry Christmas, obviously on next week. Hopefully that'll be absolutely fantastic. But anyway, so mostly importantly, we need just one other thing, and that is to get two of the people here into our party. So, we'll start off with the champions, and I think they definitely deserve to come in here because they've worked. They've been really, really good drivers as well. I just want to say a big shout out to obviously all the champions in RSF1. Obviously Unity for so obviously F2 was Magic Marks, F1 was Unity, Hush, F3 was RSF1 Hamilton, and obviously F4 was Full Send as well. So it was a very, very good thing to actually get these guys involved.
I have
And
got a little bit of sad news regarding Full Send, though.
all right,
Because I actually spoke to him a couple of weeks before the season actually ended when we raced together. And he said that if he wasn't going to win the championship, he would aim to go for season 2. But he said if he gets season 1 champion, he's going to retire.
Another Rico Rosberg, eh? Oh, he's doing Nico Rosberg.
Pretty much, yeah. But he said it's related to the fact that he's been really, really busy and he's actually struggled to get to races because he's got university work and his own personal things going on, and he's really happy to become champion. But from what I can recall, Full Send said if he got to be F4 champion in season 1, he'll be able to happily have that and be a champion and hang up his racing helmet at least until he can get his educational work done.
That's fair enough. Well, at the moment we're waiting for one other champion to come in, but we are graced with one right now, and ladies and gentlemen, we'd like
We've
to
got both,
introduce.
actually.
Have we got both? Is Unity here?
Yeah.
Oh, and also we got a runner-up as well. So, gentlemen, if you could just tick your boxes. So we'll start with F1 first, because obviously we'll start with Unity. Unity, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
First and foremost, young man, congratulations on winning the championship for F1. To be perfectly honest, obviously you had it in the bag really from start to finish, really, with everyone and that sort of things. But looking forward to season 2, and just talk about your championship for a little bit, and tell us, who obviously just go through it. What was your favourite race and stuff like that.
I don't know where to start, to be honest. It was a great season, to be honest. Probably my best race was Britain, like Snows. He obviously commentated on it. 15th to
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
That has to be
yeah.
my favourite F1 race of the entire season.
Oh,
mate,
thank
'cause
you,
that was
thank
a
you.
stellar drive.
You still want to get a
15th
room or something,
first.
for God's sake, it's me,
Mate, you cannot doubt that was an extremely difficult race though. Because I remember commentating.
I
And
hope that
15th to
I hope
first
that
is
bribe he
not.
gave you was worth it, mate. I really do. I hope that bribe he gave you was worth it. So no, all joking aside, you know what I mean. You did very, very well there, Unity. But go on, carry on. I'll let you two have your little bromance. Go on, far away. Go on.
Yeah, and another race that I really liked was Hungary, which you commentated on, Tomo. You lost your breath most of the race. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
yeah,
quite
I
good.
did
Especially
actually.
the side by side going up to turn 3. Oh, I was
Yeah.
not very happy when I didn't get the position.
Yeah, actually,
Uh,
perfectly honest. I'll be honest with you there. Actually, yeah, you see, I've had the pleasure of watching some of your races, and I have to say, out of all the drivers, you have been consistent. So you know what I mean. So fair play to you and stuff like that. But worst race.
Probably
I can really think of
Baku.
one. I was going to say Germany, mate, because I remember you and Dyslexic were battling quite hard for the lead, and then suddenly you clang wheels and you're both off.
Yeah, I apologise to him for that. It was my fault.
Oh, the
Only fair to
bin.
own up to my mistakes.
Now we're going to talk about in a bit about championships, obviously, the penalty points and stuff like that. So I know you've got to shoot off at 8 o'clock. I mean, I have to because I mean,
go over it.
no, don't worry about it. I'm not going to go through them individually because obviously I'll be here for from Timbuktu. But we'll come back to you anyway. But all aside, fantastic achievement. First championship for RSF1 for F1. But the question is, for season 2, will you be back for season 2? And more importantly, will you be able to defend your title?
Yeah, I'll be back for season 2. Defend my title, and it's going to be a tough battle. It's going to be at least a 10-way battle, I think, for the title.
Well, we look forward to it. We'll come back to you in a bit, Mr. Easton. Now, let's talk to the Bonnie of Scotland. You know what I mean? Because we have got Mr. Hamilton here. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know what I mean? How you doing, pal? You alright? Congratulations on winning F3. But I have to say, out of all the championships, obviously other than F4, I reckon you, at some point, halfway through the season, and be looking over your shoulder going, "Oh, crap, where do these people come from? I was running away with it, man." You know what I mean? Obviously, next thing you know, you've got people like Easton, you've got Route 915, you've got Bresner, all coming at you from every angle. You must have, I mean, obviously, you must be pleased that you won the championship, though.
Yeah, I'm pleased I won the championship, for the utmost. But from the first race, I've had a challenge throughout. I had cross country lead, Angerfish dropped down from F2. That was for the first half of the season. Loads of people have battled me throughout. Then since France, of course, Easton got introduced. And Rhombus as well. Bresna came in Hungary, so it was a good season. It's always been a battle. Every race has been a battle, so it's been a hard fought championship.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. So that. So just like Unity, What was your favourite? What is your most favourite, like your best race that you can remember? That you literally
best
went, oh
race,
yes.
I would need to say was Australia, based off the issues I had in that race. My Xbox overheat twice, started P19, got up to P7 in 4 laps, my Xbox overheat again, I dropped down to 7th, and I still was able to join back and recover to 4th. So, just because of the issues I had during that race, that has to be my best race.
Okay. Worst race?
Italy, by far. Italy by far, has to be Italy.
I thought you might have mentioned that actually, but I thought you were going to say Hungary, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you had quite a number of bad races, really, if you think about it. I mean, you would. A lot of people would look at it and go, if Easton and Bresna and maybe Route 915, now unfortunately Route 915 is not with us next season, but if they had joined at the first part of the season, would you have won the championship? That's a good question, isn't
it? I think realistically, probably not. Rhombus is pretty unbeatable at most races he was in. It's basically just trying to keep pace with him, but over the course of a season, I don't think I would have beat Rhombus. I think I might have had a challenge against Easton and Bresna, but Rhombus, nah. I don't think I would have done that.
Okay, all right. Well, at least you've been quite honest about it. But let's talk about your. All right, actually, before obviously, I know you've only got 15 minutes, Unity, and the reason why I've got Easton here is because he was a runner-up for obviously for F3. Easton, thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, I know you only joined us like we just heard in France. And boy, did I get a shock in my life! I'll tell you, I still can't get over that. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I still can't get over that. You know what I mean? still to this day. You obviously you took on Hamilton on really good tracks, and you got some wins as well. I mean, would you have probably won the championship if you started from day one?
Well, probably have not won it, but I would have gave it a good go.
Yeah, and funny enough, yeah, it's the Scots. You see this? It's Bonnie on Scotland. You know what I mean? Running away with it in F3.
The Scotland charge has taken all of F3.
You know what I mean? It's freedom. With Hamilton being William Wallace. Right, waving the flag very proudly. It's like, hey, Scotland, yeah, and they're free. Like, come on over there, pal. Go on. You know what I mean? So no, and all joking, no, I was very pleased to see. And now, funny enough, I had the opportunity of commentating on some of your races, Hamilton. Well, I didn't actually, Hamilton. I was too busy watching Easton win the races some of the times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a burn and a half, mate.
That's bad. Well, Hungary being one of them, that you know what I mean? It was like, come on, Hamilton, and he managed to creep in ninth. And everybody was like, Hamilton, how was your race? I don't want to talk about it, man. But Easton, have you got sorry, not Easton. Primus, have you got anything you would like to ask our champions and our runner-up, shall I say?
Well, yeah, actually, for Unity, obviously you're going to give it a real good go on defending your Drivers' Championship. Are you going to try and see about maybe going for a double knockout for F1, so drivers and constructors? Because I know that's a very difficult feat to achieve, especially in league racing. But do you think you could do it in terms of getting the constructors as maybe was a second?
What are you talking about? Unity did. He did it by himself.
Oh, it's already happened.
He didn't need a teammate. He did it all by himself. Showing off F1. How dare you?
Yeah, flexing. He's just like, I don't need a teammate, and he just does it all.
Right. He couldn't find a teammate. It was good enough. He went, sorry, I'll do it by myself. You know what I mean?
To be fair, you had a really good teammate all the way up till Belgium until St. John M2002, still remember him. He actually had to leave the league for personal reasons, so you had lost your teammate. But at that point, you and John were still scoring. Well, you was getting wins, and John was still scoring very good points for Haas. But next year, you're going to have a new teammate. Obviously, we have to wait and see for the draw on who's going with what. But how are you feeling in terms of taking another double knockout? Are you hoping to take that with you again?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm not going to lie. I'm quite scared. It all depends on my teammate. No offense to any F1 guys.
No, I don't need a team. I can do it by myself.
And I have one more question.
Oh,
But it's actually to the pair of the F3 guys, because considering Moronix, or Hamilton, has gotten the championship win and Easton being runner-up, it means you are both moving up to the F2 division next year. How are you both feeling now moving up a division? Your rivalry is going to extend to F2. How do you think the chances are going to stand against those guys?
Against personal on chat, that is.
It's a bit personal,
forward
isn't it, pal?
I have to say, I'm looking
Basically, they're going to
forward
have to get a double on their short Bridgins and their iron brew, you know what I mean? So they can practice a bit more.
No, I think it's more a case of going back to reality. Obviously, F2 is full of the people I've always used to race with on older games, so it's going back and igniting the rivalries I've had in F2 before with some of the other guys. And obviously, Easton, been battling half a season with him through most/every race since he's joined, so I'm just going to be continuing that.
Easton?
Well, I think it's going to be fun in a way, but hard this time.
I actually have to give you a commendation, Easton. Considering you joined in France, you had no points at all, whereas Moronix did have points, and you came in as a completely fresh new rookie in like halfway through the season, and you pushed your way up to second in the championship. So, as much as obviously most of us in the league are rookies to RSF1, in terms of a late join to the season, I have to give you a really big commendation for like a really strong drive in the season, because Bresner was a real strong contender for the championship as well as Route 915, and as Alonso said, no 915 next year. So I have to say, you coming into league racing, because I heard from Bodder how you did in other leagues, and then came to RSF1 and showed your skill. I have to say, you've done a really, really good job, mate, in, you know, sticking your feet in and just getting down to like brass tactics. You've done some good battles, you've defended some good positions, and even though it's not quite a championship win, second place is still an amazing achievement to get into the championship, especially when joining late.
Thanks.
Rightio, so that's my questions for the champions done. Tomo, you got any more? Don't know what's happened to Tomo. He's disappeared for just a moment by the looks of it, because his AI drone. Oh, there he is.
There you go.
Hey, okay,
I was going to say, hey. But do you know what? I think what should happen is, let's just imagine if RSF1 Hamilton and Easton were teammates. They should do this in F3. They should turn around and go, we'll do this for him. Okay? Do you remember this?
Oh no, you're not.
Unbelievable.
Oh, we're bringing back the Scottish episode.
Scotland. You're bringing on Scotland. This should be your theme tune. You know what I mean? Would you come in F2 next season?
You know, on the podium when they give drivers like trophies, they're just going to give Easton and Moronix a hatchet.
They're under blue water. No,
Let's go, crazy lads!
Hamilton would be sitting there with the Rangers shirt on, and then Easton with the blue wall paint sitting next to him, going, "Go on, let's do it, boy!
Go on!" And then they just
We're taking
throw the
this team by a
tomahawk.
storm here, man. So anyway, I'm glad we got that out of the way. But no, all joking aside, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure watching you race and competing. And obviously, Easton, I absolutely agree with the sentiments that Primus said earlier. To come in from France and to make an impact into F3 like the way you've done, and to finish second from France is an absolute brilliant achievement. And you obviously and the fact that we got two Scotsmen, you know what I mean, who obviously who I still to this day cannot get over the fact when I said, "Here's Easton," I was like, "Easton, how you doing?" And I heard, "Hello." It's like, what the? It just literally knocked me back sideways, mate. I'll tell you, that will literally be forever in me all the time. You know what I mean? Because there I was thinking I'm going to be speaking to somebody like 15, 16, like, all right, you know what I mean? And I go, "Hello, I'm Easton." What the? You know what I mean? So, no, in fairness, it's been good. So no, I'll tell you what, Easton, you've done really. You've been really, really good.
I'm crying
stuff
now.
Like that. So, so anyway, just another one. Obviously, I know you guys have got to do whatever you got to do. Just want to wish all three of you a Merry Christmas for next week. I hope you have a really good time with your families and stuff like that. And hopefully, you guys could probably be watching the podcast, which we're going to be talking about soon, about tomorrow. So, if you want to stay in, you're more than welcome to. I know you got to shoot. Hamilton and Easton, if you want to stay with us, we you can join in if you wish. It's up to you guys. I'll leave that up to you. So, but we've got to crack on. So, Unity, have a nice Christmas, buddy, and hopefully we'll see you back in season 2.
Merry Christmas, bud, and well done in your drive for season 1.
Yeah,
I can't
well done for getting the championship. Yeah, well done for the championship and the constructors by yourself there, pal. You know what I mean? Well done.
I guess. Thanks.
Put a bit more. Put it more enthusiasm in there, boy. Yeah, come on.
I can't take all the credit. I've got to thank my teammate.
Well, who was your teammate again?
It was
Legends.
St. John
At the end.
and and then IGN Legends filled in for him.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Legends, he came in and got some more points, for the unit for the house. So, fair play to Legends, but in fairness, the constructors was pretty much all ripped up by you, wasn't it? Really, he just walked in and just sat in there.
Williams,
and he was like,
with the Williams boys.
Wow, yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, Verstappen joined a little bit later on, and then obviously they might have given you a run for their money, but until you bottled it around Monza.
Right. Me and you need to put it.
What was that laugh? It's just like when he bottled it around Monza.
Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Bottle Job himself. You know what I mean? He took that title away from Shane, and that's saying something. I'll tell you. Anyway, so congratulations, guys. Anyway, so moving on. We've got quite a bits and pieces to get through, so we're going to try and get through it as quick as we possibly can, because I know we've got quite bits of stuff to go through. So, tomorrow, the committee are holding a podcast. That will be at, I believe, at 7 o'clock. It is purely to talk about everything about season 2. So obviously it is to talk about what they're going to be doing, when the draw, literally everything you need to know. Okay. Now we're going to redo, obviously go through a couple of things that was brought up last week, and we've also got 2 more pieces of information for you for next season. All right. So let's just get back to so obviously, so as I said, the committees are doing a podcast next week. Are you going to be watching that, Primus?
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to know what's going on for season 2.
Yeah. What about you, Hamilton? Are you going to be watching that?
I will be. Yes.
Yeah. And Easton?
Yeah, I'll be watching as well.
Good. Well, it's going to be very interesting. So anyway, so let's talk about what's actually going to happen so far. So this is the information we know so far, and then I'm going to tell you about the 2 pieces of information that I found out that I'm going to add on to tonight. So far, we know that at this present time, we don't know if this is correct, but we knew that they had, at the time when we did the thing, they had over 80 drivers sign up for next season, which is fantastic already, you know what I mean? I know there's been more added to it, and I don't know what the numbers are, but I know it's pretty high. the amount of people we've had coming into this to the season, like for example, classic example, Easton, Primus, new drivers. Obviously, me and Hamilton have raced in different divisions, but we got a bit more experience in racing leagues than obviously. I know you've raced in different leagues, Easton and all that sort of stuff, which is fair enough. So. The next season was very simple. Big announcement. One of the big announcements next season was no safety car for season 2. Now, Now here's the thing. Now the reason why they did this was because the committee was sitting down, going through quite a lot of bits and pieces and stuff like that, and trying to figure out what they could do to try and make season 2 more impactful. And what happened was they decided that after speaking to the stewards. There was a lot of incidences regarding first lap shenanigans, where there would be something would happen, and it wouldn't bring out a safety car. I'm sure all three of you will probably agree that that was probably about right. Would you agree with that, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So basically, obviously, looking at that, it got to a point where we thought, right, okay, something needs to be changed. So rather than do it, because obviously, and then what will happen is later on down the race, somebody will go in the safety car, retire in the pits, and then all of a sudden the virtual safety car will come out. And it's like, what the hell is this all about? Oh, a safety car will come out, and you're like, what the? So people's races will be.
I know one perfect example of that.
You know what I mean?
Cross
Yeah,
Kerry, Germany.
Yeah, so there was a couple of instances. Spain and F4 was a classic one. You know, there was no safety car, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, safety car turned up with four laps of the races to go, and it just literally it was great for the championship because Timnick won the race and I finished second, but it was really silly for things. You know, it should have happened a lot earlier in the race, and it ruined other people's races. So that's one of the things the committee turned around and said, look, you know, it's not going to happen this way. That's that. One of the other things was obviously, you know, they've talked about season 2 being bigger, better, and obviously big. So the new 2 pieces of information are this. Next season will be 5 tiers. That's right, we are having F5 next year. So next season there will be F1, F2, F3, F4 and F5. So I'm looking forward to that, which is going to be absolutely amazing to make it even bigger. But one of the biggest pieces of news I've got, which I found out on Thursday, Parc Ferme will be activated as of next season. So literally, whatever setup you got, it will be Parc Ferme rules on for every single division, every single race. What do you think about that, guys?
Happy.
Challenging.
Really happy about that, to be honest.
So basically,
it's going to be good, but challenging.
Well, I think it's going to be absolutely. Easton, what's your thoughts about that one?
It's going
Well, is that a laugh, or is that laughter in the background, or was that, you know what I mean? You laughing about that, or you actually are you ecstatic about it?
No, it's going to make things harder to find setups because if what I usually try to do is get a quality and a race, and then it's going to make things harder for me to get one.
Well, I think it's actually going to make it even easier because the thing about it is that obviously, if you've got Parc Ferme on, obviously this is going to be quite an interesting conversation because when we talked about the safety car being on next season, the chat went mental in the members' lounge. I don't know if you actually saw it, guys, but you know, people were like, "What's this all about? Blah blah. What's happening here?" And then people were saying, "Oh, we want this, we want that." And then there was another conversation, and then I found out about the Parc Ferme, and I thought, you know what, that's actually quite a good idea because it literally turns around and says, right, whatever setup you're going to go with. Obviously, when you're doing practices like, you know, practice and time trial, you can use whatever setup you want. But when it comes down to it, you can only stick with the one setup, and that's it. So you have to stick with that all the way through. Can you imagine if you went and did a wet race, if you did a dry race, and all of a sudden halfway through the race it went wet and you got a dry setup? So anyway, so what do you think of the 5 divisions then, boys?
I think it makes the tiers more balanced. I feel there's a lot of pace differences, so having an extra tier gives you the opportunity to have those like the similar paced people in that tier. So you don't have that one tier won't have one really quick person, and the tier all rest of the tier all close. So I think it's expanding to be, I guess.
Yeah,
I agree with Hamilton because you got quite a lot of guys that are fast in F4 through to 1, and it gives like maybe even the reserves that have been waiting so patiently for either a permanent seat to come up or a race for them to go into, they could get potentially put into the F5 division, which means they finally get a permanent seat that they're looking for, and their time to shine.
Yeah, I agree with that. Easton, what do you think? What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I just think the same as Mirrors. I think it would make things much more balanced.
Yeah, you're ready for more than that? Yeah, you don't have to follow his lead just because he's won F3. Come on, say what you want. You know what I mean? He's not gonna have a go at you. You know what I mean? He's got to go through me first. He does that. That's right. Come on, say what you want. Right. Okay. So, there was obviously something else added to the Discord earlier today. Now, this was about the leagues. Now, everybody's been talking about who's got the best league, blah, 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 this and that, okay, right. Who's got the best league, who's got the fastest league, who's got the most consistent league, this and the other. But one of the things that a lot of people were talking about was who is the dirtiest league in the division, okay? So, basically, the steward sat down, looked at all the penalties, added all the penalties up, and I do have the list, okay? And the list is very, very simple. Now, I don't know what you think about these guys, but when I saw the list, I was quite surprised. Right, so here we go. So, in first place, with 100 penalty points, F2. What's your thoughts about that, guys?
I do have to say that there has been the fair share of like knocks and bumps in F2. So I've had to make restart calls, and there has been lots of incidents, contact. As much as obviously F2 has been the division to be awarded the most points, they raced really, really hard.
Hamilton, have you watched
the accountable why?
Have you watched any of the F2 races this season?
I've watched quite a few of them, to be honest. I think it's a lot of it goes down to hard racing, but also you can't appeal against the steward, so it kind of makes up for.
Okay. What about so second place? Right, secondly, F4 with 110 points. Second. How about that? F4, the lowest division, being second in the summary of penalty points from all 4 divisions. Better than F3.
Well, F4, again, it's like every single division had a load of veteran league drivers, and in RSF introduced a load of rookie drivers, including myself. And to hear that F4 had gotten quite a few, because we were the lowest division, and there was quite a lot of people in the F4 division that were quite new to league racing as a whole. There's only a very few people in there that actually had previous league experience. McCracken, Spiral Acerfacer, Mr. T, who actually got promoted to the F3 division. So, and yourself, Tomo, because you was actually originally F3 and then put down to F4 near the beginning of the season.
Yes,
so
it was.
Quite a
yeah,
few
that's
seasoned
right. Yeah.
drivers, but there was a lot of rookies. So I do feel, with a load of new drivers, they're trying to find their feet in terms of league racing as a whole, trying to experiment racing against real people and not AI cars. It's definitely a challenge. So to hear F4 being second, I don't mean to sound mean against F4 because it's just being realistic. It's not quite surprising that they have that many because it is it's the slowest division out of the 4, and a load of new people going in it. So to hear they got second, they weren't the worst.
No.
But
well, we're getting to number 3 now. We've got two divisions left. We've got F3. We've got F1. All right. In third place, with 130 points, was F3. Wow.
Ooh.
So, F3, which means, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it means, F1 was the worst for penalties, with a staggering 235 points.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
They were 105 points more than F3, 125 points more than F4, and 135 points more than F2. That is unbelievable.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I know. Easton, what do you think about that? What's your thoughts about that?
Don't know.
Easton.exe has stopped working. Please reboot.
I know, yeah, he's absolutely gobsmacked. Hamilton, what's your thoughts about that? You know what I mean?
He's gone.
Who's that? Hamilton's gone, is he?
Yeah,
He
he's
must
just
be.
like,
Wow.
uh-oh, that's not good news, and he just left.
That's not a problem anyway, so that's not an issue. I couldn't believe it. When I saw those points, I was like, no, that can't be right. So I actually asked him to check it, and it is absolutely spot on. F1 was the worst league in RSF1 last season, which is, it's quite weird because, like you said, Primus, you would have sat there and said, you know what, F4 should have been the worst, F1 should have been the best. Realistically, you know what I mean, look at it at that point of view. And there's nothing against the F4 drivers. I'm not saying that the F4 drivers are really, really bad, but obviously because F4 is, as you said, drivers that are learning their pattern, learning their racecraft and stuff like that, you would have thought that F4 would have been higher up in the penalties. But to have F4 finish 10 points behind F2, it just goes to show you that because a lot of people, right, I was getting a lot of feedback. I asked a lot of questions. And a lot of people said that when it came to watching the stream, there was 2 divisions they wanted to watch. Was two or 3 divisions they wanted to watch. F4 was the one they wanted to watch more than anybody, which is quite interesting. Hamilton, what do you think about that? Would you say that's a fair assessment on F4? Not there. Has he gone? Oh, for crying out.
He's probably gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Right, okay. What do you feel? I mean, obviously, me and you are F4, so we're quite biased. But, I mean, Easton, what do you think about that, what I've just told you about F4, being the most watched, possibly the most watched on the stream?
Well, I feel like you have the closer racing without contact in a way, and plus because the championship was still up for grabs, even going into the extended round.
Cool.
So,
I just had a message from Hamilton. He says, sorry, I had an issue with Xbox. I have a few things to get sorted anyways. Just wanted to say thank you for having me on the podcast, and I hope you and Primus and Easton have a very Merry Christmas and a New Year. Same to you, buddy. Absolutely.
Merry Christmas to you,
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, mate. Absolutely, without a show of that. Right, okay, so we are almost coming to the part where, we're coming to near the end of our podcast. Since I've got 3 of you here, Primus, obviously I know for a fact that obviously you've already said that your favourite race of all time is definitely Silverstone F1 with Unity winning. Easton, if you could pick one race, what would it be? That was the best race that you could turn around and say, yeah, this race was brilliant.
I've got quite a few, but my personal favourite was S3 Austria, with the amount of weather changes we had in that race. It was quite crazy.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I do have a shout out to make.
Alright, okay, go on.
And this is a unanimous agreement between myself and Bodder. At the time we labelled it as the best overtake of the season. But F3 currently hold, it's F2 hold the best overtake of the season in Spain, with RSF1 Schumacher, formerly known as DP Roberts. As you're going into the second DRS zone in Spain, after you've gone through the main bulk of the track, you get to the slight right-hander that leads onto the DRS zone. Schumacher made a move round the outside on that steep right-hander onto the DRS zone and made it stick. And I have to give a shout out to Schumacher, as he has been awarded by me and the shooter, Shooter McGann, if you watch Happy Gilmore. Me and Bodder have awarded him, since Spain, overtake of the year.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I can understand that. It's not bad. Fantastic. So we can live with that. Well, I have to say, probably my best race I watched realistically was I'm going to say F1 Austria, because I agree with Easton. It was a fantastic race to watch. I had the joy of commentating on that one. It was unbelievable, that race, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching every single minute of it. It was brilliant. To finish, it just had everything going for it. So because of that, I thought, happy days will go down our avenue, and it was brilliant. So I can't complain. So anyway, we've got the last. So this is the last podcast. We don't know what's happening for next season, but like I said to you guys, please, tomorrow from 7 o'clock, you will have the part 2 of the Champions podcast, where Magic Mark and Fulton will be interviewed by the committee for the championship. Also, obviously, you have all the committee talking about season 2. And obviously, I hope everybody can actually watch it, because it's going to go through quite a lot of stuff. It's going to be like testing, and obviously the dates and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, it will be joined by quite a number. So that in mind, I'd just like to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you so much for watching all the podcasts. I know we've obviously done quite a bit. I've thoroughly enjoyed every single one of them, and I hope next season that we come again for next season for podcast season 2 for RSF1. Easton, hope you have a lovely Christmas, mate, and I hope Santa got everything you wanted. So. I hope you're a good boy. Not on the naughty list. Same with you, Primus.
Thank you very much.
So from me, RSF1 Alonso, from Easton, and from Primus, obviously from Peppermeat as well, and also from Top Notch, from Mr. Verstappen, and obviously Brundle, the guys who have actually joined us in the podcast as well, to all the special guests I've had in the podcast, to everybody and all that sort of stuff. I'd like to say thank you very much. So everybody, I hope everybody has a fantastic Christmas. I'll be watching the podcast tomorrow. Actually, no, I won't be watching the podcast tomorrow, because I'm watching Star Wars tomorrow. Woohoo! So that will be good. But I will be watching it back anyway. So Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic New Year and a great Christmas. And we will see you in season 2.
Take care, everyone.